So does anyone else remember the investment app wars of 2020, where basically there were a whole bunch of investment apps out there and they all wanted you to invest with them, whether it was Robinhood, M1 Finance, Dash, Capital, Wealthfront, and every single app out there, right? Even some banks started to become basically investment apps. Basically, you kept promoting it. And the whole idea was every single other day, basically, I would get a text from somebody saying, hey, if you invest here, you get $5 or you get the chance to actually get this free stock. And the answer is whatever happened to all of those apps. You know, what happened to all the promotion and everything else? It kind of feels like today, like in 2023, like the entire thing kind of calmed down. We don't really see that much activity, much promotion, none of that, because in reality, the playing field has basically leveled out. Now, what happened to it, okay? And the reason I'm making this video is basically I want to tell you about the best investment app out there, the one I use. And on top of that, I want to basically tell you that, you know, when it comes to an investment app, yeah, it's cool to get a free stock. Yeah, it's cool to actually have some fancy features, but overall, you want an investment app that actually helps you with your goal of staying invested, actually make more money, and actually allow money to actually grow with time. And a lot of these apps, what they want you to do is the absolute opposite. And by this video, you actually understand exactly what I mean. You'll also know the app I use, and you'll also know exactly how much money I've invested in this one app, okay? Now, overall, guys, as always, like this video on top of also subscribe and hit the bell so you're notified, okay? Now, the very first thing, guys, is this, okay? How do these apps make money? And I want to talk about this because basically, I want you guys to understand the motivation behind the way these apps actually operate. Overall, if an app is free for you to sign up, just put in your social, your address, your name, your information, deposit some money, basically start trading for free today. If everything is free, how the heck do they make money? Overall, it's not free per se, because whenever you're actually buying a stock, they basically make money on those transactions. On top of that, if you borrow money on margin, that's also money they get paid. If they have a fee, that's also money they get paid. Overall, it's not like it's free. It's just like you're being charged in more creative ways that you might not even see. And it might not even feel like it's a lot of money, but when you have millions of transactions overall, they make a lot of money. Now, if I'm an investment app, and I make money from activity, I don't want you to focus on long-term behavior. I want you to focus on activity. I want you to focus on trading back and forth. And that's why I'm making this video, because I know so many apps out there that what they want you to do is basically they've gamified, made the whole thing a gambling casino, and they just want people to keep basically just buying and selling, buying and selling. They don't care if you make money, if you lose money, they only care about activity. And that sucks because that's not what investing is about. Overall, when you're looking to actually invest into an app or use an app, you want an app that actually helps you stay invested long term. An app that helps you be patient. An app that actually helps you want to keep investing over the long run. An app doesn't charge you a bunch of money in fees and so on. Because by the way, fees add up, whether that's $1, $2, or $3. I know apps basically cost like $8 a month. They make it seem like it's no big deal. Overall, all those things should be free. You shouldn't be paying for any of those things. But charging someone $8 might not sound like a lot compared to Netflix, but overall, investing, it is a lot when you're just getting started. And if an app is motivating you to actually sell and buy, making the whole thing a game, it's not a game. It's real life. It's real money. And when you retire, you will need that money. If you don't have it, you will be screwed over. So that's why you really want to consider the app you actually use overall. Now, let me show you guys the power of compound interest, okay? And this is why it's so important that you actually stay invested, that you're patient, and you allow compound interest to actually run wild. So if you invested, for example, $200 from the age of 20 to the age of 50, the answer is you would have had invested like around $72,000, because 200 over 30 years is just $72,000. Now that's a lot of money, but it's not really impressive. So when you add compound interest, meaning, hey, you're earning 8% on that money every single year over and over and over again on average, the answer is that 72K turns into about $293,000. That's 4 times the original amount. Now, if you said, well, I'm gonna let the dividend actually reinvest itself, well, that turns into now, for example, $434,000 just with an extra 2% that you're actually reinvesting off the dividends. Now, if you say, I don't want to do just 200, I want to do 250, just $250 from the age of 20 to the age of 50, you would have about $542,000. That is a lot of money, and that is the power of compound interest. And whenever you have, for example, an app that wants you to basically do a lot of activity, the answer is you usually miss out on everything. One of the hardest things to understand is basically investing is not about activity. It's not about doing anything. It's just about doing the same thing over a long time. So if you're going to be looking for an investment app, which app should you actually be looking at, and exactly what are the features and the benefits you actually want to see? Overall, after doing research, I basically found 5 things you want to look for when you're actually looking at an investment app. And the first thing is you want size. Size matters in this case, okay? It does. Size actually matters here, because if you have a company that's brand new, trying out, for example, cryptocurrency, trying out this feature, that feature, in reality, guys, although companies might sound cool, they might have their own app, they might have money, companies can basically go bankrupt, and you don't want to have your money invested into a company that can go bankrupt because it's basically small. And yes, we have, for example, insurance, like up to 500K, but overall, you don't want to deal with that entire thing, okay? So size does matter, and the top 3 brokerages right now are Fidelity, Schwab's, and Vanguard. And these people have been around like forever, okay? Like since the very beginning. So you want something with size. Size matters. Number 2 is fees. Fees matter a lot. If somebody charges you, for example, 2%, that can basically mean like 1/3 of all your profits. 1/3, for those not good with math, is like 33% of your profits basically gone in fees, okay? Being charged $5 compounded across 30 years per month, basically at 8%, can basically be a lot of money. It might not sound like a lot, but $5, I think every dollar 30 years at 10% or 8%, it's about $17, okay? So the answer is it adds up fast. And the idea is like, okay, you have this cool app, it looks cute, it looks pretty, but if it does the same exact thing, I don't care how good it looks. I just want basically to have as much money as I can. So why would I put my money in here just so I can basically look at a pretty app, okay? So fees matter a lot. Costs matter a lot when you're looking at it, for example, over 30, 40, 50 years. So look for something that does not have, for example, a lot of fees. And usually the big companies don't have that many fees because basically they have volume. Now, number 3, you want to actually have a company that has great customer service. I know apps that I tested, they basically hide the customer service number. They hide the emails. They want you to use this robot. And the robot is sometimes like stupid and dumb and just does not understand the questions you're basically asking. Now, overall, I don't know about you, but I don't want to be invested into a company where they can't even afford to actually pay for customer service. It's actually pretty much not a good sign. So having good customer service, usually big benefit. Fidelity, Schwab's, Vanguard have great customer service. And some other ones have good customer service, but in reality, they're very limited. They take forever to actually get connected. And that's why I really don't like those small apps. Number 4 is you want a long-term interface. And what that basically means, you want an app that's basically built for long-term investors, because overall, that's how you're gonna make the most of your money via compound interest, be it invested diligently, and also just being patient. So you want an app that's long-term, and the more boring it looks, the better, because investing is not supposed to be like fun or exciting. It's just supposed to be making you money. That's what you want. I don't want any excitement for my investment. I want to have my money there, all right? I want it to grow. I want to see it grow. So I don't care about colors, okay? Now, that's a big thing. Now, number 5 is, okay, you want to have investment availability. I know apps and platforms that they did not offer like index fund investments. They didn't offer, for example, ETFs that had indexes in them, because in reality, well, not ETFs that have indexes in them, okay? Or ETFs that track certain indexes, because in reality, they wanted people to buy single stocks because they knew it was going to be volume of transactions, like trading back and forth and so on. You want investment apps that basically have all these 5 features: size, low fees, on top of that, customer service, also long-term interface, and number 5, have good investments availability, okay? So index funds and ETFs and so on. So that's the big thing. Now you're probably wondering, Tommy, what investment app do you actually use? So I'm coming here because I want to show you guys on my phone exactly the app I use and why I actually use them. Now, by the way, quick story here. Over the past 6 years or so, I had basically every single investment app you could probably imagine. I probably had it, and I tested it out, had money in there, I used it back and forth, I flip-flop from this app to that app. And in reality, what I found is that the more simple something is, the bigger it is, usually the better it is, okay? You don't want to have a very complicated app. You don't want to have a lot of excitement. You don't want to have an app that basically is not for long-term use. You just have like all these other features in there. The answer is the more limited it is for what I want, usually the better it is. So the app I currently use right now is basically Vanguard. I use Vanguard, okay? And in Vanguard, I have about like 100% of all of my investment money, like for investing itself, like into stocks and so on, it's invested into Vanguard. Now, why Vanguard? Because it has size. It has customer service. It has low fees. It has a very boring interface. And on top of that, it actually helps me keep investing. Everything about that app is long-term. It's not exciting. Nothing crazy happens on there. And that's exactly what I actually like and what I like to see when it comes to an investment app. So right here is actually my Vanguard investment app. And as you can see, I have around like 293K. Right now the market is down, but that's normal. That's a part of the game. And there's not anything to do with this. There's no like fancy tickers. It's just, are you buying? Are you selling? It's red. I can call anytime I want. It's big. It's everything you actually need. And it's not fancy. And the fees are super, super low. So over time, everything I'm doing here is just basically I'm investing 20% of my income every single month, long term, keeping it going, keeping it going, keeping it going. If I have a question, I call in, they answer, and I don't have any fear about like, hey, you know what's gonna happen? Vanguard is gonna go bankrupt, because the odds of that happening are slim. But you know, it's not to say it's impossible, but it's like very slim compared to the other apps I had, where I was basically like, oh my gosh, now they have a credit card, now they have like a debit card, now they have like crypto, now they're getting into this, they're getting into that. There's always something new going on with these apps, and what I want most of all is stability, because this money, which is like for retirement, like 30, 40, 50 years into the future, the answer is you don't want excitement here. You want like predictability. And by the way, when I first started investing, I started with $7. That's all I had. $7 I put towards investing. I kept putting money in, and over time, it actually grew. I used several different apps. I've used Acorns, I use M1 Finance, I use Stash, I use SoFi, I use Robinhood, I use Wealthfront, I've used Capital, I've used all the investment apps. And what I found is usually simplicity works best. Size helps a lot. And if you have a brokerage account, and they're offering you, for example, Vanguard Investments, okay, or Fidelity Invest. I don't think they actually offer Fidelity. I think they do actually, because they offer anything, honestly, everything. But if they're offering you these things, right, like why not go straight to the source? That's the idea, okay? But overall, guys, that is it for this video. And I made it because honestly, there are some platforms out there, some apps out there that I really don't like, because they basically try to make the whole thing like a game, and investing is not a game. And people end up losing money, like real money. And I get calls, people saying, Tommy, I have $1,000 invested into this thing, but I don't know what to do. Like, what do I do with this crypto coin? I want to put my money in here. And it's so dangerous, because ignorance is a real thing. And when it costs you money, and when you're broke and you basically just want to get started, every time you waste money, every time you lose money, you're not just losing money, you're losing your time, because it takes a lot of time to earn $8 or $15, okay? So that's the entire idea. So I put my money into Vanguard. The 3 companies I recommend overall are Vanguard, Fidelity, and Schwab's. Schwab's is nice. Like, they have some good features in there. Fidelity is also nice. Vanguard is the most boring one. And as you guys know, I am the most boring investor on this platform. That's why I have him. I love him, okay? Fees are super low. I like it. Now, as always, guys, if you made it all the way to the end of the video, comment down below Schwab's, Fidelity, or Vanguard. Let me know exactly which one you like most. And if you don't know yet, comment down below which one sounds the most interested. And then do me a favor, promise me, go check it out. Open an investment account today, a Roth IRA today. Consider, oh, there's a great book on investing if you want to learn about investing. It's called The Little Book About Common Investing by John C. Bogle. And John C. Bogle actually worked for Vanguard and opened it up on the index side. And this guy is a genius. He's not alive anymore, but he is a genius when it comes to index funds. And he breaks down why indexing is actually better than single stock picking, because it's so hard to beat the average, okay? Now, as always, guys, like, subscribe, hit the bell to get notified. Up here is another banger. Over here is my faithful Rob. And as always, long-term team officially out.